What is up, YouTube family? Welcome back to On-Chain Gaming. My name is Jake, the On-Chain Gamer, and today we're talking about Star Atlas once again. If you missed the last video, it was an in-depth look at Star Atlas, at the gameplay and the vision behind this grand strategy space exploration game that's going to be on the blockchain. Definitely check that one out if you missed it, because in today's video, we're not going to be talking about the gameplay as much. We're going to be diving into the tokenomics of Star Atlas and looking specifically at the Atlas token, which is the in-game currency, and the Polis token, which is the governance token. We're going to be looking at the tokenomics of both of these tokens, looking at what's a good investment, what's not a good investment, how do these tokens work, and all of that fun stuff. So without further ado, leave a big thumbs up if you're hyped, and let's get into it.
On-Chain Gaming.
So we're going to be looking at the white paper here because it gives us all the information that we need. So a key driver of the value within the universe of Atlas is the monetary reward system derived via robust, well-balanced economics, supported by both in-game and blockchain mechanics. A supplemental objective of the development team is to drive real-world human innovation and progress by leveraging this virtual world as an experimental sandbox for economic and governance research. Star Atlas is driven by a dual token system, Atlas and Polis, with multi-currency Solana asset support. So let's start by diving deep into the Atlas token, which is the in-game currency. Atlas will serve as the native in-game currency within Star Atlas. It is the lubricant of the metaverse. Players will initially leverage Atlas to acquire digital assets such as ships, crew, components, land, and equipment. However, as in the real economy, a financial system is necessary to facilitate commerce. Whether it be bought through NPC merchants or direct peer-to-peer transactions, Atlas is the unit of account to execute operational requirements. Now, operating a business in Star Atlas is not supposed to be easy. Actually, the white paper says that it's going to be hard. Managing resources will require critical strategic decision-making. Players seeking the monetary rewards available in-game will need to carefully balance their operating expenses against income derived. Operating expenses such as personnel for mining equipment, fuel for ships, and repairs for damages will all need to be paid in Atlas. It will also serve as the predominant currency within the NFT marketplace. So Atlas is meant to be the liquid cash. What you pay for everything, what you receive for everything, it is just the currency of the Star Atlas world, of the Star Atlas metaverse. So let's look at the actual tokenomics of Atlas. A fraction of the game's currency will be available through various stages of a galactic asset offering, leading up to the full launch of the title. Upon completion of the galactic asset offering, Atlas can only be earned through in-game activity or sales by other players. Unlike many projects in the crypto economy, the development team retains zero stake in the undistributed token supply. So that is very cool, pretty interesting. So let's look at how this token supply is actually going to be used. So if we look, we can see all of these different allocations with different letters. Each of these letters stands for how the Atlas is going to end up being distributed to players for different activities. For example, B, which is going to be receiving 45% of Star Atlas, is for mining stations. So that means Atlas is going to be paid out to miners, 45% of it, who are actually mining in the world. 20% is going to be reserved for MM and trade. 20% is going to be reserved to be paid out to players in player versus environment missions. And then 15% is going to be allocated to resource gathering. Now, one really interesting component of the Atlas token is the fact that it is going to be having a built-in permanent inflation rate. Now, this can actually be changed in the future by the Polis governance token. They can actually change the inflation rate of the Atlas token, But as far as things are set up now, there is meant to be inflation for Atlas, which actually makes a lot of sense if you understand economics, because if you want an asset to be spent a lot, then you want it to have some slight amount of controlled inflation, because people then aren't as incentivized to just hodl it, and it causes the velocity of money to vastly be accelerated, which makes for a much healthier economy. When everyone is incentivized to spend, that means everyone is also able to earn. So a little bit of inflation is really, really good for an in-game currency, and I wish Ethereum and the Ethereum holders understood that, because Ethereum really needs some inflation as well. So in year one, Atlas is actually gonna have 36% inflation, which is an unsustainable amount of inflation, but it's the first year and a lot of Atlas needs to be paid out to players and those who buy some of these early NFT drops from Star Atlas. In the second year, it's going to drop from 36% inflation to 25% inflation, and then in the third year, 18%, fourth year, 12%, and then by the fifth year, it's going to be 9% inflation. So this is actually a lot of inflation over the first 5 years. We're gonna be seeing the total supply of Atlas just continually increasing over the first 5 years of this game's development. And I think that by the time the Unreal Engine of this game comes out, which will probably be 5 years from now or something like that, the beta might be out sooner, and there's gonna be a mini game, a browser game that comes out this year. But by the time the full immersive Unreal Engine Star Atlas game comes out, the inflation should be relatively calmed down by then. But up until then, there's gonna be a lot of inflation. Now from year 6 onward, forever, unless the Polis governance owners decide to change this in the future, the Star Atlas token is going to maintain a 4% inflation rate into perpetuity. So hopefully that helps explain to you how the Star Atlas token is going to work. I think it's really cool. I'm glad that the team is literally going to be giving all of Atlas to the players of the game and not keep any of it for themselves. And I think that Atlas is going to be an incredible currency. I'm glad it's inflationary. I'm glad that the CEO of this game understands economics. I think this game has some of the best tokenomics, like I've said, out of any game. But now that we're done looking at the Atlas token, let's take a little bit of time and talk about the Polis token, because the Polis token is another very important side. I mean, it's the yin and the yang, the other side of Star Atlas, and it's the governance token and has a lot of usefulness. So the white paper says Polis is a multifunctional governance token with applications both in-game and in directing real-world economic policy. And if you watched the last video, you'll know that owners of Polis tokens are literally going to be able to control parts of the Star Atlas metaverse, and because of their governance control and their Polis ownership, they're going to be able to vote on taxes and rules and things like that that are going to apply to other players. So the Polis token is not just going to be governance for the overall game, but it's going to be governance for inside the game as well. In the game, within the Star Atlas metaverse, political influence is yet another strategic consideration in the management of territory and the navigation of space. Controlling this political influence introduces a number of advantages for player status, which is represented by the Polis token. Holders of the Polis token will be in a unique position of jurisdictional ownership over entire regions, regardless of who owns the title NFTs to the land and equipment rights. So that means that if you have an NFT on a planet that someone else owns the governance rate of that planet, they could literally charge you taxes for mining with your NFT on that planet. That means that owning Polis and having governing control is going to be a very key component of running successful mining operations. Players will be able to restrict some of the activity that can occur while under their oversight, impose taxes on other players, charge tolls, and otherwise create a separate set of laws with which other players must observe. However, Polis represents voting rights, not dictatorial ownership. In this regard, it will likely require multiple players to collaborate on these rules, fines, fees, tools, etc. because one player just isn't probably going to own enough Polis to just be a dictator over a part of the world. And if what you impose is too harsh, it might be suspended by a more powerful group of players. Decentralized autonomous corporations would do well to take advantage of this tool. And if you don't know about the decentralized autonomous corporations, then that's another reason to check out the other previous video that I made on Star Atlas. But like I said, the governance token isn't just going to be for in-world governments, it's also going to be for real-world governments. So let's take a look at how the Polis token is actually going to have a say on future development of the Star Atlas game. Externally, control of Polis will enable the gaming community to influence decision-making of the Star Atlas development team. This will follow a period of centralization of decision-making, likely 2 to 3 years of game development and balance, just while the Star Atlas team creates their original vision. That makes sense. But at the conclusion of this centralized period, holders will be able to influence game economics, i.e. inflation rates of the Atlas token, asset release schedules, game direction, and will otherwise provide some degree of ownership in development decision-making. So that's really cool. I love these ideas behind the Polis token. So now let's talk a little bit about the Polis distribution. How is the Polis token going to be given out to players? How do you get Polis token? Remember, in order to get Atlas token, you have to earn it by playing the game. So Polis token can't be earned the same way, right? Well, let's learn. Polis distribution will take effect in 2 phases. The first phase consists of a 20% sale of the governance token during the Galactic Asset Offering. Following the GAO, the exclusive ability to generate Polis relies on staking of Atlas currency. So let me describe this just very simply. 80% of Polis is only going to be earnable by playing Star Atlas, earning Atlas tokens, and then staking Atlas tokens in order to get Polis as a reward. So 80% of Polis is going to only be paid out to players that are staking Atlas. The other 20% is going to be sold just as like a token sale as part of this phase 1, which is going on right now. Now the Polis token isn't being sold yet. I believe it's going to happen in July. Atlas staking will be delivered in browser while game development is in pre-production. Watch the first video if you want to learn more about the in-browser first playable thing that Star Atlas is going to be releasing. But essentially it's going to allow you to start mining, start staking Atlas, and start earning Polis tokens before the full Unreal Engine 5 version of the game is released. Players should note, there is a trade-off that takes place to earn Polis. Atlas that is reserved for Polis rewards, that is staked for Polis rewards, is not accessible for any other in-game requirement. In other words, a player can either stake or use the currency balance to play. And remember, Atlas is going to be very necessary to pay for fuel, to pay for crew, to pay for repairs. And if you're staking your Atlas, then you can't use it for your mining operations. This means that you're going to have to make strategic decisions about whether or not to use your Atlas to stake in order to earn Polis, or to use your Atlas to expand your mining operations. And that's going to be another strategic decision that you're going to have to make as a player, because you're not going to be able to use Atlas that you're staking in order to earn Polis governance tokens. The one last thing that I want to talk about before we finish this video is just the general economic stance that Star Atlas has. And this is the idea of asset destruction and deflationary mechanics. And this is talking about the world as a whole. The NFTs in the world as a whole are going to be rare and valuable, and they're going to have deflationary mechanics because ships can be destroyed and stuff like that. An innovative aspect of Star Atlas is the multi-tiered engagement zones. This mechanic enables players to engage in riskier activity with the allure of greater rewards. Those players brave enough to explore the deepest regions of space forfeit the safety provided by NPC-populated zones. the equivalent of playing for pink sheets or play for keys, as it has been coined by the team. Through seamless smart contract asset assignment, players entering these zones put their ships and crew on the line, and a loss of a ship leads to permanent destruction or burn of the NFT. The victor of these engagements will claim the spoils of battle in the form of salvaged NFTs, however, at only a fractional random share of what was destroyed. So when things are going to destroy, they're going to deflate. The value that you're going to get as the salvage is going to be less than the value of that perfectly running ship, obviously. Further, certain farm materials are non-permanent and will be destroyed as they are consumed for use, i.e. materials used in construction, fuel, temporary boosts, etc. Finally, the Star Atlas team is committed to a purchase, repurchase, and burn program based on both traditional revenues and in-game revenues. If we look at the Star Atlas token burn, we can see that 12.5% of all of the revenue across in-game and standard revenue is going to be used to buy back and burn Star Atlas tokens. So that means that a percentage of the company's revenue is literally going to be going to increasing value to players of the game. Because if you don't know, when you burn tokens, there's less supply of the token available and the market cap goes up, the price goes up per token. So 12% of all Star Atlas's revenue forever is going to be going towards burning tokens and increasing the value for Star Atlas players that own Atlas and own Polis tokens. So it's just really, really cool. I love all of the economics behind this game, and I think that they really knocked the tokenomics out of the park in this one. I'm just super looking forward to making more videos about this game and mining Atlas tokens myself, getting Polis tokens as well by staking my Atlas. This whole ecosystem, I'm just really looking forward to participating. The other side of this is that all of these in-game marketplaces and stuff, they're going to be DeFi applications. Like the game is literally going to be running on the blockchain with decentralized finance applications. It's just really cool, and it's the next generation of what gaming truly can be. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, you enjoyed this dive, this deep look at the 2 Star Atlas tokens, then leaving a big thumbs up will be very much appreciated. It tells the YouTube algorithm that this video provides value, and when the YouTube algorithm sees the engagement, it recommends the video to more people. So thanks so much for leaving your thumbs up. And then also, if you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? You just watched this whole epic video and you're not subscribed. Make sure you hit subscribe and click that notification bell, and you'll be notified when I post new blockchain gaming videos. And then if you want to go above and beyond in supporting the channel, then you can become a patron. Check that out using the patron link below. Once we have 1,000 supporters across YouTube membership and Patreon, we will be giving out 1,000 day one supporter NFTs. I think that's a really cool way to award day one supporters. And until next time, everyone, have fun roaming the metaverse.